Good to have playoff hockey back in the building this year, and good to have maybe basketball joining it this year. Joe Micheletti does the games for MSG Network, joins us now. Joe, welcome. How are you?
Mike, I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Thank you. Appreciate your time, Joe. And, all right, knowing nothing about Senators as I do, just reading the reports, Joe, and reading the matchups, sounds like a team that you people will worry about their explosiveness. Is that true?
That would probably be true, Mike. It's a team that's got some quickness to the way they play. I think there are probably three things to really be aware of. They've got a top line that's very, very good. Jason Spezza is the center iceman. He was fourth in scoring in the National Hockey League. He's a very crafty player, can shoot the puck and really handle the puck. He's been around quite a while now. He's become a leader on the team. He's got two wingers that can really skate. McCulloch on one wing, who had 35 goals, and a rookie by the name of Colin Greening, who's a big kid that can skate. And so that is a very formidable line that the Rangers are going to have to keep in check. The other thing is that they've got an outstanding power play. So for the Rangers, they've got to try and make sure that they stay out of the penalty box as often as possible. And the other factor is they've got a young defenseman, Mike, by the name of Erik Karlsson, who's got a very good chance to win the Norris Trophy as the league's best defenseman. He's only about 175 pounds. No one came close in defensive scoring to him in the league. He won the defensive scoring title by 25 points. And this kid is a dynamic young player.
Does he play the point on the power play?
He plays the point on the power play. He'll play 25 minutes a game. He's not very big, about 175 pounds. He's wiry strong, but can really skate, really shoot the puck. Had 19 goals on the season, led their team in shots on goal. So those are the three areas. They've got to try and control him, stay out of the penalty box, and stop that top line. They do those three things. They're going to win the series without a problem.
Joe, when I think of 1-8s, and in hockey, obviously 1-8s are always dangerous matchups. The ones are vulnerable a lot more than they are in basketball, where they're very rarely vulnerable. And the reason usually is if you get stoned by a goaltender. Doesn't sound like Ottawa has that kind of goaltender, do they not?
Well, Anderson is the type of player. He has had a few good games at MSG, so he can come into the building with some history and feel pretty good about it. That being said, the goaltending advantage goes to the Rangers. Without question, Henrik Lundqvist has a very good chance of winning the Vezina as the top goaltender in the league.
Is he the top goalie?
If he's not, he's in the top three. The kid from Jonathan Quick from Los Angeles will get some votes because he had 10 shutouts on the season. Henrik Lundqvist had 8. And so I think it goes down to those two winning this thing, but certainly he's in the top three. So the goaltending advantage goes to the Rangers in this one. And I think the real key to this series, I think, is going to be if Ottawa has the puck an awful lot, then it's going to be a problem for the Rangers. The Rangers' strength all season, Mike, has been to wear teams down, to be in their face, to hit, to grind, to keep the puck in the offensive zone. And that is a weakness for Ottawa, how they play in their own end with their defense. And so it's their weakness, and it's the strength of the Rangers, and I think that could very easily be the key to the series.
Talking with Joe Micheletti, MSG Network. They'll have all the games. Joe will be doing the games as he does for MSG. Playoffs begin in Madison Square Garden on Thursday. Joe, just this matchup, is this a matchup you like for the Rangers, or is this a matchup that scares you from a Ranger perspective?
I thought this, Mike. I thought a better matchup for the Rangers would have been Washington, to tell you the truth, because for the Rangers, if you look at the way they play and the teams that have given them some problems, it's generally the teams that have some quickness up front, move the puck quickly out of their own end, and are skating teams. Pittsburgh has given the Rangers some problems. Montreal, even though they didn't make the playoffs, every time the Rangers play them, and you can go back the last number of years, it's a difficult matchup for the Rangers. Ottawa has beaten the Rangers 3 of 4 times this year, and they have shown that. So to me, I think Washington would have been a better matchup because they've got goaltending problems, and they've been in somewhat of disarray most of the season. But that being said, I think if the Rangers play the way we've seen them play for the last 6 months, I still think they win the series.
All right, let's take the Rangers past the series for a second, and then the big picture, Joe. Is this a championship team? Can this team – what does this team – better question would be, what does this team have to do to be a team that can play for the Cup this year, can make it to the Stanley Cup Finals?
Stay healthy. I think more than anything, Mike, that's the key. You look at 3 of their starting defense in this; they have not had a playoff game under their belt. So you've got a little bit of inexperience back there, and then not a whole lot of depth. They lost Michael Sauer, who's hardly played this season because of concussion issues. And he was one of their top 4 defensemen a year ago. They really miss him, even though they don't talk about it because they don't want to use excuses. But if he was available, and maybe at some point in the playoffs he might be, but he hasn't skated for a long, long time. So I don't think you can count him as being available. And the other thing up front, if I look at the Rangers, I look at Gaborik, Richards, Derek Stepan, and Ryan Callahan as really your offensive players. And should one of those 4 go down, it could cause a problem. I mean, this is a team that's built on defense. Let's not forget that. They play from defense out is the way they're coached, and they're very good at that. So, but if they lose, if they have a couple of injuries, that could certainly hurt their chances.